Weak glutes can cause a variety of problems for seniors, such as getting up from the floor, squatting down, going upstairs, or even just walking. I'm Dr. Dave Candy, and in this video, I'll share 5 little-known glute exercises with big benefits for seniors. Now, before we get started into the exercises, there are 2 concepts that you need to understand. The first one is about the glutes themselves. Many people think of the glutes as one muscle group, but really they're 3 independent muscles and they function slightly differently. The gluteus maximus is the large butt muscle on the back of your hips, and that's primarily a hip extensor. It also helps rotate your hip out to the side into external rotation. Your gluteus medius and minimus sit on the sides of your hips, and they help you balance on one leg and help more with your side-to-side stability. Now, the other concept you need to understand is something called the length tension curve. Essentially, that means that muscles are strongest in their mid-range and they're weakest in their most shortened positions and also in their most lengthened positions. The reason for that is that muscles have overlapping filaments, and when those filaments are maximally stretched, there's no overlap, so they can't contract together. Furthermore, when the muscle is maximally shortened, the filaments can't slide together any further, making the muscle weaker. Now, most glute exercises train the glutes in the mid-range of motion. And that's great, but a lot of people have trouble with their glutes at the end ranges when they're pushing off, when the gluteus maximus is in the shortened position, as well as in activities like getting up from the floor or in a deep squat where the muscle is in the most lengthened position. And so the exercises in this video will share how to strengthen the glutes in their most shortened and most lengthened range of motion. So first, let's start out with the glutes in their shortest range of motion. This happens when pushing off when walking. And many people, if they get lazy glutes, they'll take shorter steps or they'll take longer steps, but they allow their back to arch because they're not getting extension from their hip, and rather they're getting extension through their back. That's particularly problematic if you have degenerative disc disease or spinal stenosis, where extended positions of the spine aren't tolerated well and can give you difficulty walking. So this first exercise is to work on getting a good push off from the glutes in their shortened position. Now, many people will do hip extension type activities like this, which do target the glutes in their shortened range of motion. But in real life, we don't use our glutes in the open chain with the foot off the floor. We use them when pushing off when walking. So this first exercise is going to be just standing on one leg and then accelerating forwards, trying to take as large of a step as you can, squeezing the glute while also pushing off with the calf. So it's very much just like taking a step, accentuating on pressing on one leg. Now, if you do have some balance difficulties, you may want to do this facing towards a wall, where you step in towards the wall, and just in case you lose your balance, you can kind of catch yourself on the wall. Now, you can start out practicing this one leg at a time, doing all your repetitions on one leg, and then doing the other leg. But ideally, you want to transform this into something you do every time you're taking a step while walking. So you'll start out pushing off one leg, push off the other leg, and think about squeezing your glute as you're pushing off, and additionally pushing off the toes using your calves, which also give you power to propel you forwards. So that's the first exercise. The second exercise is to help you get up off the floor. In this position, the gluteus maximus is in its most lengthened range of motion, and so it's most difficult to get up through this range. Now, if you can get up to here, you can probably stand all the way up, but many people get stuck in this bottom position. So you need to be able to strengthen your glutes in this lengthened range of motion. Now, if you can't get down on the floor to practice a lunge, either due to leg weakness or due to knee pain, then there's another option that can work on strengthening the glutes in this lengthened position. To do this, you'll put your foot up on a chair like this. So now you're in that same relative position of the hip as you would be down in a deep lunge. Press your heel down into the chair, and you want to think about driving your heel through the chair as if you were going to step up on top of it. But this is really just going to be an isometric exercise. So driving your heel down, thinking about pushing yourself upwards, but really just putting a lot of pressure through your heel down through the chair. Hold this for about 10 seconds and then relax. Hold for 10 seconds and then relax. And do 10 repetitions on one leg, then put the other leg up and repeat doing the same thing, pushing down with the other side. The next glute strengthening exercise is the isometric deep squat sit to stand. It's safest to do this on a staircase where you can use the rail to sit down on the stair that's most comfortable for you. You want to do it at the bottom of the staircase, and then you're going to use your hands to scoot down one stair, ideally down to the lowest step. But if you can only get to the second step, that's okay. Then you want to bend your knees back so that your feet are as close to you as possible. This helps improve ankle dorsiflexion and knee flexion range of motion, which are both benefits of the deep squat. Now in this position, your glutes are in a maximally lengthened position, so it's where the glutes are the weakest. That means for most people, you may have difficulty standing up from this position. And that's okay. This is an isometric exercise, meaning you're not moving, you're just contracting the glutes without actually moving the leg. So to do that, you're going to drive your heels down into the floor. You can put your hands on for a little bit of help, but just drive the heels down into the floor as if you were going to stand up, but most likely you're not going to actually stand up. So drive the heels down into the floor, brace with your hands, and hold that position for about 5 to 10 seconds, activating the glute muscles as well as your quad muscles. Then relax and repeat that for 10 repetitions. Now, when you're done with this exercise, put your hands on the stair, use your hands and your head to lift your bottom up, and then just slide back up to the step above you, then use the rail to get up. If you have to scoot up an additional step, that's okay too. Much like the previous exercise, this exercise allows you to strengthen your glutes from a maximally lengthened position when you're in a deep squat. Because the machine is inclined, you don't have your full body weight, and so it makes it much easier on both your muscles and your joints than doing a full weight bearing deep squat. Now you do need to have access to either a Great Flex or a Total Gym, or you can use a leg press at a gym. If you don't have access to any of these, then there is a lower tech version of this option in the next exercise. But to do this, you want to scoot down as low as you can on the platform, or bring your legs as close towards your chest as you can comfortably if doing a leg press, and then press out through your heels so that you use your glutes. Ideally, you will want your feet up a little higher on the platform, which emphasizes your glutes. When your legs are lower down on the platform, that emphasizes your quads. So press through the heels and then come all the way back down as deeply as you can comfortably, and just go back and forth like that. Repeat this for strengthening for sets of 10 repetitions. This last exercise will be very similar to the last one, but requiring much less equipment. I'll show two versions of it, one requiring no equipment and one that will just require a stretch band like this. It should be a big, thick stretch band, and if you need one, I'll put a link in the description down below. But to do the version with the stretch band, you put the band around your feet like this, and then you grab in the loops on the side. Then you're going to lay back on your back and pull your knees up towards your chest. Now, just being in this position actually feels pretty good if you have lower back pain. But to do the exercise, you're going to push your heels into the band, moving your knees away from your chest. You don't have to go all the way out straight like this, although you can if you want to. But the focus isn't on straightening your knees. It's actually the pushing of your knees away from your chest that activates the gluteus maximus. It's more of a hip extension type of motion. And again, in this position here, the gluteus maximus is maximally lengthened. So just push knees away from chest and then come back. Now, if you don't have a band or don't want to get a band, you can also do this as an isometric, just using your arms. So pull your knees in toward your chest here, and then push against the resistance of your arms. Hold 5 to 10 seconds, and then relax. And then push against the resistance of your arms. Hold 5 to 10 seconds, and relax. And then push against the resistance of your arms. Hold 5 to 10 seconds, and relax. So those were the 5 glute strengthening exercises. And if you remember at the beginning of this video, I mentioned that the gluteus maximus has a significantly different function than the gluteus medius and the gluteus minimus. All of the exercises in this video focused on gluteus maximus strengthening, which is a hip extensor. The gluteus medius and the gluteus minimus focus on balancing you on one leg to give you better side-to-side stability. And if you'd like to learn exercises to strengthen your gluteus medius and gluteus minimus, check out this balance exercise video over here. But before you go check that one out, if you found this video helpful, make sure to give it a like and subscribe to our channel so you can get notified of our future videos. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.